If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Welcome back. We are live at High Top Cincinnati. Give it up for Brendan Ayanbadejo. Woo! We do have some people here. Why is it so damn morgue-like in here tonight, Brendan? I mean, you know, we've lost a lot of football games in this town over 16 years, and we've won a lot of football games. What is the mindset psychologically that makes losing, and baseball's the worst. You go in a baseball clubhouse, nobody's allowed to smile after they lose, nobody's allowed to tell a joke, everybody has to walk around like their mother died. And if you're in football and baseball, if you're good, the Yankees will lose 65 games this year. So 65 times you have to act like somebody shot your dog. I mean, I don't understand that, but I mean, there's definitely a code in football about that, at least on Sunday. No one's allowed to crack a smile in the locker room after you lose, and I sort of understand that. But beginning tomorrow, Wednesday, you really do want to have amnesia as a football player, right?
Yeah, I mean, every week is a new week. You know, it's 16 weeks, 16 grueling weeks. It's a marathon. So, you know, you're going to drop a few here and there. It happens to every team. It's happened to every team in history in professional football, at least in the NFL, besides one team. So it's going to happen. But it's not that big of a deal. You know, I don't think we should really dwell on it, you know?
I just think for fans it's a hard loss when you're a big favorite and you're playing a team that's supposed to be a bad team. Every year we play teams that are supposed to be bad teams. We may look up and see the Tennessee Titans be a 10-win team, 11-win team.
Yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what the 2011 Ravens are going to do. Nobody knows what the 2011 Titans are going to do. That's why you play the season. And you know, we had a tough game. They came out, they played an excellent game, and nobody knows what they're going to be yet. I mean, our goals are still the same. Win, lose, or draw, our goals are still the same. That's still to go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, and that's our goal, and that's the goal for 32 other teams as well. There can only be one winner, but nobody wants to hang out with the loser. Everybody wants to be with the winning side. Everybody thinks the winner's always the coolest. You know,
but they liked you last Monday. You were the winner. This week you lose. You know, you're still the same guy, right?
Yeah, I'm just glad we won last week. You know, I'd rather catch an L to the Titans than catch an L to the Steelers. And that toilet paper, that Pittsburgh Steelers toilet paper, is pretty awesome. I might have to buy a roll.
Yeah, we may have to give you a roll of that for the second week in November. All right, so here's the deal. Brendan's on Twitter, and I'm an unabashed fan of you and your brother. I've said that. This is the first time we've ever done a show with the same dude every Monday. So in order to keep this thing fresh, we need a world-traveled, worldly person like Brendan Ayanbadejo, who has roots back in the homeland of Africa, right? And your father was Nigerian, correct?
Yeah, my father's Nigerian.
And your mother is?
She's Irish-American, you know, like third-generation Irish, so from Meath, Ireland, so.
She's like basically Chicago. Like Chicago, is that correct?
Yeah, she's a Chicago girl, yeah.
Okay, all right, so you've been around the world, you got all this culture and stuff. I love watching the stuff you do on Twitter. And so every week now, I'm following you on Twitter, and I'm going to start to take notes during the week of 5 to 10 topics we can take on with you, so that when we do lose, and I don't want to use the L word too much, I mean, I think at this point we can go 15-1, that's my opinion, that we don't have to talk about football and sit around here and get all morose. So I'll let Glenn and Luke ask the football questions. I want to talk about some stuff. First off, let's talk about the boxing match on Saturday night. Did you see the boxing match, or did you not?
I saw the first round, and then the first round ended right at around 11 o'clock, and that's our curfew. So we're watching it in the hotel.
Now, does Harbaugh come by?
Oh, man, he cracked the whip, man. Just everyone's like, oh, everybody's got to go. It's curfew. Everybody leave. And there was about 20 of us watching the fight. It was a wrap. We saw round 1, and that was it.
And that's it. All right, yeah. So did you see the alleged sucker punch knockout? You haven't seen it. So
I haven't seen it, no.
I mean, what happened was they came to the middle of the ring to tap gloves. Ortiz was apologizing profusely for headbutting
for a malice headbutt,
right? And then he dropped his arms and
got knocked out.
Dude just completely, it was the biggest sucker punch I've ever seen. I mean, I saw a sucker bite. I mean, we saw the Mike Tyson bite on Holyfield. I mean, this thing was just crazy. And I mean, I'm sure other teammates or something, people talked about it. I know you didn't talk about it on Twitter, but I thought, you know, you love the sweet science and you love the MMA and stuff. Yeah. What's the code, okay? First off, I mean, you look like a guy that can kick most guys' asses, but then again, if I brought like I don't know. You said McKinney. I bring McKinney in here right now. He looks like Andre the Giant standing next to you, right? So I guess it's all relative. But what is the code in that, as you see it, given the bloodletting of the MMA and sort of kicking, gouging, punching, and all that sort of technique is part of the MMA? In boxing, there's a code. You know, like you tap gloves, you go to the corner, and you fight. To just sucker punch somebody in the middle of the ring, and then talk smack to a 75-year-old guy. Did you hear what he said to Larry Merchant?
No, I heard they're both. I heard Merchant was talking his own smack.
Well, Merchant was just asking legitimate questions.
Right.
Like, people are booing you in the ring now.
What does the ref say before the fight even starts? What does the ref say?
Keep your hands up at all times.
He says, "Gentlemen, protect yourself at all times." So that's rule number one: protect yourself at all times. And we had a player on the field that took a pretty vicious shot on a touchback, and now he's going to miss a few weeks because he blew out his shoulder. So you got to, even in football, boxing, MMA, whatever sport it is, you got to protect yourself at all times.
Well, we've seen those guys get blown up after an interception. After an interception, there are a lot of guys on offense that look like the lion and the gazelles out in the jungle.
We're hunting.
I mean, we've seen guys.
That's where we do our work. They're always coming at us. When we get an interception, that's our turn to come at them. But I think the first violation took place is when he tried to do the headbutt. Like, everybody forgets that the headbutt was what part of boxing do they have headbutts? I don't think there's any part of boxing where there's headbutts, right? Not even in MMA, there's no headbutts. So there's nowhere in that for the game. And then there's on the camaraderie part of the game, the guy was apologizing and whatnot. But do you want someone's apology after they just cheated?
Okay, so
when they intentionally cheated, do you want their apology? Probably not. So they both, two rights don't make a wrong, but they both were wrong. And protect yourself at all times. So I'm kind of on the fence with this one. I think they're probably both idiots.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.